this really has caught my attention. And I've come to a conclusion about people who call themselves the people of Israel, call themselves Jewish, but they don't believe in the name of Yahusha. They don't believe in the prophecies and all that, and even just a little bit, and they're still deluded in their delusions. That's the real delulu. They're real bad about being a part of something that's no longer there, which is Yahuah having his 12 tribes of Israel, Yisrael. And Yisrael is no more as far as the old covenant goes. Those who accept Yahusha in their heart and have faith even as much as a mustard seed, and finds out exactly what Yahusha wants from them, or they're climbing out of old behaviors, that's a hard thing to do. And I don't think people give themselves enough credit. You should applaud yourself for even trying to fight. And I realize that every day is a fight. But this here, when I'm talking about old Israel, they still think that Yahuah is still on the throne. They do not accept, that's A-C-C, accept, I don't know how to spell it. I can accept that. I do not know how to spell. But they don't know exactly how to accept the fact that Yahuah is no more, and that Yahusha is now on the throne. He's in heaven. The word of Yahusha, everything that gets a little imagery, everything that has dreams and prophecies is all about imagery. Some people cannot get the whole understanding of imagery. Yahusha gives us everything that we need to know at that moment in time. And Yahusha is the one that helps us break out of old mindsets, or mindsets that, we no longer need to be in. And one of those is believing that we're of old Israel. Many people that are black in America today who believe that they're old Israel, or that they believe in the old covenant, do not either realize or want to believe that Yahusha is on the throne, not Yahuah. If that was the case, we would still be doing sacrifices. People would be getting healing. The power of Yahuah would be there. But Yahuah, even before Israel, was having a war against the evil one. I don't even want to bring its name up. And I know that it's a he, but I disrespect it because, I fell in love with a lie when it came to that thing. Just like all of my brothers and sisters who have fallen into this lie, especially through religion, about what they think is right. A lot of Americans that are black, that read the Bible, that believe that they are in still the old covenant, or that they believe that they're a part of the 12 tribes or old Israel, that's a joke. Yes ma'am, yes sir, it's a joke. And it's a joke to even believe that you were of any good back in those days. Do you not know how they mistreated Yahusha back then before he was Yahuah? Do you not know how they mistreated Yahuah, the one that gave them power and authority over the nations, the ones that were supposed to be able to show who Yahuah is, Before all of this, Yahuah gave them a certificate of divorce to them. And it's for good reasoning. Very good reasoning. if you backtrack and you actually read the Bible instead of listening to these pastors and preachers talking about this mumbo jumbo nonsense about being a part of Israel, saying that people are jealous of us. No, it's the other way around. Yahuah rebuked us. He didn't want us. That's why we were scattered. Even after Ezra, we were all scattered. Nobody knows where we actually came from. And I thought about it. We are the only group of people who have it so bad. And I wondered if you know for a good fact, that you're Hebrew or that your roots go back to old Israel. It's not a good thing. The very embodiment of love and light and power, who made creation, who made the oceans and the birds and the bees and human beings and even the angels. He made all of us, divorced you for your disobedience, our ancestors' disobedience. And look how we treat one another. We don't even have a heritage. We don't have what the nations have, and that is to be able to look back and say, oh, we're from this or that. We're from that or this. We've been captive, just like our ancestors. There's nothing there anymore. Yahuah is dead. And for you to say that you're a child of God, or that you are of Yahuah, and that you believe in the old covenant, you have not been listening to what Moses said. You don't believe in the prophecies. You don't believe in what the New Testament in the word of Yahusha says. Yahuah transformed himself into an embodiment of man. He died for all of creation in the name of Yahusha. And he has given, when he went into Shemayim, heaven, he sat there on that throne. It wasn't the right side of Yahuah. That's just mean to say that he has all power and authority. He's always been and always has. Nothing has changed. He showed us a way of living, how we should be living, how we should be loving one another. There's no reason for us to be hating one another, putting down one another, beating one another, the harassment, the bullying, the abuse. How could someone like her be so greater than I? But I tell you one thing, I am no one like you. I am like the filth underneath the boot of my master, the sandal of my master. I am nobody, just a worm. But I believe, and you can believe too, about the power of Yahusha and about his will and what he has for us to do. And you should all be applauding yourselves for even wanting to come out of these evil, wicked mindsets and behaviors, because our ancestors have done these evil things and has mixed Yahuah with all of these false doctrines, and they were not consistent with who they were. And their mindsets were very evil. They did a lot of very evil things that us in our generation wouldn't see as evil, because we were never taught. And the generations before us were never taught. Old Jews from back in the day took a hold of Yahusha's people and just destroyed them, took them asunder, and shut them up for generations. Made us believe on a false name, made us believe in this religion so that they can take whatever they wanted from us. Mainly money, because it's the love of money which is the root of all evil. And what they so love is not Yahusha. It's not the plans that Yahusha has for us all. No. And I sat back and I had to think about all this. Why come we were so destroyed? Because even though our generations after all the quietness, the shutting down, the beating and the tormenting, our generations never knew. It was all kept hush hush. And we have been asleep. My people, those who believe in Yahusha, those of you who believe in Yahuah, do you not believe that Yahuah transformed into Yahusha, that they are one and the same, and that the word applies to everyone? Just because you came from these Hebrew roots, just because our ancestors were once a part of a big deal, they weren't no longer a big deal. They were no longer a big deal. And our people perished because of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding. People didn't want to understand. All they wanted was to just survive and have what they could and hoard up what they could and get what they can, and it's a lot of mess. How can you reverend old Yisrael when you know, or should know, that they abused Yahuah, the wife abusing the very person, the man, the husband that has loved them even before they were born, has loved them even before creation, has loved them, us, and he has given us a way out of the world, out of these old mindsets. It's been hard getting out of these mindsets. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. It's hard. It's hard to finally say enough. But when you're able to say enough and you start pushing away from evil, just know that there will be tribulation. And what I mean by that is that there's going to be a test of your strength. But I would like to say at the end of the day, it's not about black or white or where your ancestors come from. It's about the now. And do you believe that Yahuah came to this earth in the form of a man and died for all creation, especially us, so that we could be saved, knowing that we had turned into evil beings because of what happened in the Garden of Adam and Eve, in the Garden of Eden, in Adam and Eve, excuse me. And you know, this has also been weighing on my mind. But just because Grandma and Grandpa, Adam and Eve, had sinned against Yahusha, we should forgive those who have sinned against us. How is love supposed to flow if we don't forgive the ones who have hurt us the most? Especially if they have decided to make a change, to do good. And the only good in this world is Yahusha. And if you're not willing to do that type of good, what makes you think that I can trust you? But here I am, even in the shadows, hoping and praying that you'll see yourself. Realize that there's a demon there controlling our behaviors and our mindset. And that you're able to say no to it. That you'll be delivered because of the power of Yahusha. I have hope for those who've done me wrong. And I also have hope for those who have done me well. But we can't sit here and continuously say that we love Yahusha and still call on the name of Yahuah that is no longer there. He's no longer there. And I would like to also say this. We are a priesthood. It's not just one person out there showing, doing the work. Behind the scenes is being uplifted by everybody else, workers. That's called a hierarchy. I don't know how to say it, the whole thing. Basically a pyramid scheme. We are all equal. There is no favoritism in Yahusha. Just because you want one way done doesn't mean that Yahusha wants it done that way. We're all supposed to be able to go up to the second room. We are all supposed to be able to go into the second room, sit down and pray together, or stand up and pray together, so that Yahusha's power is upon us. And with his stripes we are healed. With his power we are healed. And that we all can hear him. And that we all are able to understand what we all need to do. But until we realize that we all need deliverance from this evil thing called the self, these evil mindsets, the ego from the world, because loving the world is enmity to Yahusha. But once you hate the world and you hate everything about it, and you pick up your stake and follow Yahusha to your death, then can we say that we are truly loving, that we're kind, that we're patient, and that we are able to do the fruits of Yahusha, because we are genuinely looking to do good to those who we probably even think that they are below us. And that is a demon. That is a thought that a lot of people have, especially a lot of people who are considered in this world today as narcissists. No, you are people with unhealed trauma that you can't just go to therapy for. Everybody's like this. And how wonderful would it be to finally have the love for that person, just because Yahusha's love is overflowing, to love that person. Ew, I don't like this person because they do this or this or that. I don't like this person because they do that or this. I, me. But it's not even so much the I, or the me. It's more about how you perceive someone. And you should never perceive someone to be so second grade to you. Yahusha confounds the wise. And that's because it doesn't matter what talents that you have or how greater you might be towards this person. Yahusha is only looking for one thing. And that is you. Your heart, where your mindset is, and the love that you have for him, to be able to open up and make that change with how you treat people. You can deny it all you want to, but at the end of the day, maturity is realizing the nasty, hardening hearts that we have, and being able to give that over so that Yahusha can give us a new fleshly heart and a mind that is of cleanliness, a mind of understanding, And, well, these things have been on my mind swirling lately, and I just had to speak on it. I'm rooting for everybody. routine for everybody. I hope that everyone makes it. I'm not, and I never have been that type of person to just want to go off the end and judge people. Ever since I've known Yahusha and have been trying to find him, he's known me. And it wasn't about 4 or 5 years ago I learned his real name. It was wonderful. It was fabulous. Yahusha, your love is true, and your heart is kind. Yahusha, your love is kind, and your love is true, and your love is kind. And that's where we need to be. Where's your heart at? It doesn't matter what type of knowledge you have. If your heart isn't in the right place, how can it be open so that Yahusha can just flow through you? He wants us to feel him. He's the very embodiment of love. And love feels fantastic. It feels great. It's wonderful. It is a strengthening power. And you are able to say no to Satan and no and no. And you're able to overcome it, and you're able to see people and just have pity on them and to realize where they are. You even weep for them because they're so weak-minded, if you would like to say it so harshly, but they're weak. And they just don't know the way because they're blind. And you're just as blind yourself. You're trying to get out of it all. I hear that song and it's just in my mind, and it's beautiful. I remember a long time ago singing songs to Yahusha. I had a pink guitar and I learned a couple of chords, and I would sing my heart out to Yahusha alone in my bedroom. And I would give it all to Yahusha. And I always felt it. I've always felt his power, his love just over me. I knew even when I was 9 years old, I knew that something was wrong with me. Did I say 9? I guess so. I don't know what number. I do remember this old memory. I was very, very young. Very young. And my mom, she brought in the Bible, the black book. It was the full version of the Bible, and she had it in her hand, and I looked at it, and I was just in awe a little bit, and how interested I was in the Word. But I don't want to get too far into that. I would like to just talk about things, you know. My life has been exciting. It's been real because I had a lot of looking within my own heart to do. I still do. I'm not going to sit here and say that I am perfect, because I am not. But Yahusha's been teaching me right from wrong all of these years, and he's been repetitive about himself. He's been repetitive, and he's been trying to help me and pull me out all these years. Even now, I'm happy that he has come to love me so much, that he's come to love me so much that he was trying to help me through it all. Maybe there were some times that I could not hear him, but I believe that he's heard me in my cries. I believe that. that he's seen me. I believe that I've heard him. And I answered the call. And by that time, my heart had been so overwhelmed and full of joy, just ready to do whatever Yahusha tells me to. And I said no to Satan. And when I finally got his name and I repented with my mouth, even with water baptism, I was the happiest girl in the world because I found Yahusha. But over the years, I gotten bitter, and I lost track of what was real, what was true, what Yahusha has been teaching me about obeying what is lawful in his eyes. Because if I do evil, it comes back onto me. I reap what I sow. And those consequences have been really bad. But when I turned off the love that I was supposed to give to others, I believe that's when things really have fallen off with me these past 4 years. And now I'm just trying to turn it back on. I'm trying to find love.